everybody, welcome back to my channel, Living Solo, Living Well. And I'm Kat. I am a semi-retired registered nurse. And I wanted to talk about something that's going on in this area lately. So I live in Middle Tennessee and west of Nashville, just a little bit. And there have been sightings of black bears. And we don't usually have them here. A lot of times they're in East Tennessee and other areas, but they have been spotted in a lot of surrounding areas from where I live, even in the town where I live. I have yet to see any, but it makes me I may be worried a little bit because I'm building a house on my daughter's farm and I'll be moving out there at some point when it's done. And it's very rural, very country. She has about 20-ish acres. And so the hills and the hollows are behind the house. There's a lot of wooded areas. So I'm kind of wondering how that's going to go as far as if we're going to have any black bear sightings out there. My dog, I let her out. She stays in the house mostly. I let her out occasionally. But out there, I'm going to have a fenced-in backyard like I do here because she's not used to being out near a road, and there is a country road out that way, so I don't want to have any issues with it. But I want the fence, once I have it put up, I want it maybe a chain link or something where I could see through it and see what's on the other side because they have coyotes. I just don't want my dog to be in any harm or, run into a black bear or a coyote. And I know that they can climb fences, but so my concern is that when I wake up in the middle of the night and have to take my dog out, usually 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll let her out and then I'll piddle or just kind of sit there and wait for her to go to the bathroom, and then I'll let her in. I don't really want to go outside and sit in the dark at 3 or 4 a.m., but I'm kind of wondering how that's going to go at the new house because it's very rural, like I said, and the potential for coyotes, especially being out there, and me not having eyes on my dog if I come back in the house and wait, that's my concern. Those are my concerns. And so anyway, but today's video is going to be just about different topics and different things, just musings and other interesting or maybe not interesting things. So one of the things I wanted to start with is it is super hot here. And we're hitting up in the 90s, and we're having rain and storms pretty much every day except for yesterday and today. We haven't had any, but it looked like it was going to downpour at any minute. So right now we have hot, humid, it's terribly hot and sticky. And I wondered how everybody stays cool when we have heat like this or when you have heat like this. And so one of the things I use in the bathroom when I'm take my shower and get ready for work or get ready for the day, I have a portable fan that I have to have in there to blow cool air on me because after the brain injury, I've had a difficult time regulating my body temperature. So I get really hot and I continue to get hotter. And that goes on, that's probably a good 20 or 30 minutes. And then if I stand in front of the fan and just cool off, it'll take, like I said, 20 or 30 minutes. And then I'll go the opposite direction. I will be freezing cold immediately I have to bundle up with blankets and it's crazy. I put socks on, and so it's weird to go from that extreme of being overheated to frigid. And it's been a problem now for 4 years since I had the injury, and nothing's done about it. It's workers' comp, and I've talked about that in other videos. So there you go. But anyway, I wondered how you stay cool. I remember when I was growing up, we had, if you remember, the big box fans. They were probably about 2 or 2.5 feet in diameter, or square, 2.5 feet both ways. And it was wonderful having that fan on. We didn't have air conditioning for a while. And it was wonderful having the fan and just letting it blow on you when you were so hot. So I get memories like that when I have my fan on in the bathroom. I know that's silly probably, and weird, but it does make me think of back to my childhood when we used to cool ourselves off with the fan. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. And then another thing that just happened today, I placed an order from a grocery store, local. I wanted to get 2 plastic Adirondack looking chairs, and they had them on sale for $20 a piece, down from, I think it was $59 or $60. And so I ordered 2 of those, which they indicated they had in stock. And I ordered 2 6-packs of some vitamin water. So once the order was placed, and then I got busy doing stuff, and I had an alert that I didn't know I had until it was too late to cancel the order. But the chairs were not available. They were out of stock, and the drinks were the only 2 things that were left. It was too late to cancel the order because the time, past the time where you could cancel. So I wondered if I was going to get charged a fee for having a small order of, $15 or so, versus having an order of $60, give or take $60. And when I picked up my order, I asked the young guy that brought it out, was there going to be any kind of fee? And I explained to him about that. And he said, typically yes, but they would take it off the receipt. He would text me the receipt, or I would get texted the receipt, and it would be, I could see that it had been removed. So I heard my phone ding while I was talking to him. So I went back and I looked at it, and it was the receipt, but there was a almost $5 charge, a fulfillment charge. And that wasn't on the original order that had the 2 chairs on it. And again, I couldn't cancel my order to avoid that. I didn't know if that was on there because I didn't have a receipt at that time, once the chairs were taken off. And so I called the company, and I spoke to the delivery or the pickup crew where they gather the order and then you go pick it up. And the guy was a little bit curt with me. He was a manager in the back, and I explained it to him, and he said I could either go into the store at the service desk and request a refund of that in cash, or I could call the 800 number that he was about to give, and I could request it to be credited back to my account because I used a card to pay for that. And I know $5 isn't much, or $4.95 is not much, but it's not my fault they were out of stock on the chairs, even though when I looked them up on their site, they indicated that they had them in stock. So I should not be penalized, even though it's not quite $5. It's the fact of the matter. So I was nearby. I went into the store at the service desk, and they refunded me the cash, but they don't usually handle that. So they had to call the guy in the back that I just spoke to and get approval, I guess, from him. So he gave them the approval. They gave me a $5 bill. So I wasn't mad. I just thought that's not right. And I don't want to be charged for a fulfillment fee when I wasn't originally, and it was due to them being out of stock. So what would you do in that situation? Would you have done the same thing, or would you have just let it go? To me, it's like I know it's not a bait and switch, but it felt like it. And again, it wasn't my fault that they were out of the chairs, out of stock. So I don't feel like I should have been penalized. And anyway, so that was just a little irritating today. I wasn't mad, but I was just a little irritated because it's so hot outside. And to make that errand to run into the store, which was what I was avoiding to begin with by placing the order online, it's just a lot in the heat. You have to sweat. I don't want to sweat if I have decent clothes on. If I'm exercising, I don't mind it, but if I have a decent blouse on or I'm out and about, I really don't want to be dripping because I have that issue with not regulating my body temperature right. So it is a big deal for me. And so one of the other things I wanted to talk about is my sweet little Sophie Sue, my dog. She has had skin issues for so long, and she's biting and scratching and making hot spots. So I have tried supplements from Amazon. I've tried prescription medications, Apoquel specifically, and that is extremely expensive. and it didn't work. It worked if she took 2 a day. And so 2 a day for a month would come to 100 and $180, give or take. Once a day for a month was $113. That didn't work. If she took 1 a day, it did not work. I can't afford that. Even, more so, I can't afford the twice a month. So I quit doing that, and I started making her food. I tried other dog food recipes, and then I ended up making her food, and that didn't work either. She had chicken, she had, stuff that I put in an Instapot, and so I thought, well, let's cut out the chicken and see if maybe that's it. So I started getting ground turkey, and not an expensive brand, just a Genio, because it was like $1, less than $2 a pound. So I started making it with ground turkey, and all the vegetables and supplements and stuff inside of it didn't faze her. She still was itching considerably. So, I'm at my wit's end, and it's financially, I feel like I'm at a loss for words right now, but financially, it's hard to try different dog foods to see if they work when they're so expensive to begin with, except generic ones. But I did settle on one I found on Amazon. I actually found it at the local PetSmart, I think it is, that's in town. And I always get confused on PetSmart and Petco, but I think it's PetSmart. And I found a brand called Merrick, Merrick. And I thought, let me get rid of the chicken or poultry or turkey, and I'll go with salmon. So I found I think it was $80 a bag there. So I found it on Amazon after that. And it seemed like she liked that food. So I was giving it several weeks to see if it would make a difference with her skin allergies, the itching and the biting and the scratching. And so we tried that, or she and I, that's the we tried that, and since she liked it, I thought, well, let me give it longer than a couple weeks to see if we'd have results. So I found it on Amazon for a discount with a discount. So same size bag, but I think I spent $50 for it. So then it didn't work. It's like she's still scratching. So I did like I said, I did the homemade, I did the other store-bought, I did, allergy dog food for dogs with allergies, and nothing has worked. So she has an appointment tomorrow to go to the veterinarian, and we're going to see what they can do. I can't afford the Apoquel because, like I said, for it to work, she'd have to take 2 a day for the rest of her life, and that's close to $200 a month. I just can't do that. They did, last time she had this issue when I took her to the vet, it's been months, and it was probably a year ago, and she had they had given her prednisone to take. So I had just bought at that time some new area rugs, big area rugs, one for my living room, and I have a concrete floor that I refinished or had refinished a couple years ago. So I have this big rug that's washable and waterproof, but it's humongous. And I came home from work one day, and there were 2 puddles where she had peed on the rug, and they're waterproof. So to my surprise, it just stayed on top in a puddle. It didn't absorb. So I cleaned that up, cleaned the rug, but the prednisone she had at that time was making her have more frequent urination. My house is for sale. I had a new rug. I can't have her going to the bathroom in the house. So I know they're going to probably give her a shot of a steroid tomorrow, and then put her on a dose pack or a steroid daily for a while. So I think I'm going to block off the front living room and roll up the rug that's in my den where she sleeps normally. I'm going to roll up the rug that's not under the chairs already, and just have the floor exposed so that it won't damage the rug. Even though it's waterproof, when I clean it with a pet spray, it's got like an oxidizer in it, or it's OxyClean or something in it, and it leaves a more whiter spot, a lighter spot. So I really don't want to have the rug having spots on it. Like I said, the house is for sale, so it's got to be presentable. And, I've got to treat her while I have the house for sale. And we'll see how that goes. But the other night, well, these are the only two areas where I have big rugs. So I'll take care of the issue with her, keeping her from going on these big rugs. And then if she goes on a bathroom rug or the little kitchen rug, I can clean those and wash them, send them in the washer. So the other night, she had, probably 4 or 5 nights ago, she had an accident in my bathroom. She sleeps on my bed and we have the door closed. So she did not go on the somewhat good sized area rug in my bedroom. She went to the bathroom on the tile and did her number 2. And I woke up to that, you know, the wafting of the smell waking me up. And so I followed the scent, found it, and she was so smart. She used her nose to scoot the rug over it to cover it up. And I know she used her nose because she'll do that when she's trying to cover up her toy with her bed or look for something under her bed. She'll scoot it with her nose. So at least she thought to do that. She was considerate enough to do that. So I washed the rugs, cleaned that up. The next night, I took those rugs up in case she did it again because I just had washed them. And sure enough, there was another accident. And she doesn't do this normally. So I don't know what was going on. It wasn't, you know, like diarrhea or anything. So she must have just had some kind of upset stomach. But I think it's a gut issue because of her allergies and the skin issues. So that's the last time she had that issue. Was probably 3 nights ago, and she didn't last night or the night before. So I'm thankful for that. But anyway, I've got to figure out what's going on with her, take her to the vet and see what they can do. And in the meanwhile, try to keep my house clean for, you know, people to come by and view it. So this Sunday, I think we're having an open house. That's the plan. And so I want to keep everything pretty decent looking so she doesn't have any accidents. So we'll see. I'll block her off from the big carpet and I'll roll up this one in the den, and we'll kind of eliminate her options of rugs to go potty on. So anyway, that is the other one of the other topics I wanted to just talk about. And then another one, and this is one I've been an interest of mine that I've had for the last few years. I watch a lot of crime stuff on YouTube, and there's a trial that I had been watching since, I think I started watching it in 2023. I think that's maybe late 23, and it was this woman named Karen Reed up in Massachusetts. So it's the Karen Reed trials, and she was accused of backing up into her police officer boyfriend and killing him, and that did not happen. She had 2 trials. She had a hung jury the first time, and then she was acquitted the second time. So all the experts, even the state experts, had no proof. Everything pointed to the house, the people in the house. It's a long story, but they're all related. They're cops. They're all in law enforcement. They're all in some form of government capacity. And if you look it up and read about it, it's so complex that it's insane. There's corruption definitely going on in Massachusetts, in Norfolk County. And anyway, so I've been watching lately, since she was acquitted, the brother of her boyfriend that was killed, the brother and family have brought a civil suit against her. The house occupants, they're now called the house defendants, have also brought a suit against her. She has sued them. She has sued the Massachusetts State Police. And so there are lawsuits running rampant, and it's unbelievable what all has come out of everything that's taken place during the first 2 trials. For example, if you're not familiar with it, I'll just touch on it. But a lot of the law enforcement investigators and cops since then have been fired or demoted, or, you know, whatever. They're not in their positions anymore because of the wrongdoings that they did in their investigation. So it was pretty severe that, you know, they've been fired, they've been demoted, they've been transferred out to other places. The dog involved has disappeared. There were supposedly dog bites on his arm, which proves that he was something happened inside the house with their dog, their German Shepherd dog. And anyway, it's such an interesting thing that all these cases are going on, and you know, this poor woman has been through so much. And I know there's probably those of you out there that disagree with my point of view, and that's okay. We all have a point of view, and we all believe what we believe, and that's okay. So I really don't want any hate messages regarding what I'm saying about this case, because everyone is entitled to their own belief. And from my perspective, as well as a ton of people worldwide, believe that there was no way she could have done it, because the facts point to other things, and there's no evidence to point to her killing him. So anyway, that's one thing I enjoy watching, and it's actually a hot topic right now on YouTube. So if you do happen to look it up, it's Karen Read, R-E-A-D, and you'll find it interesting, I'm sure. So anyway, these are just a few of the things I've just off the top of my head today. I just wanted to chit chat and just say those things, just talk about them. And so let me know what you guys do. If you have pets that have itchy skin or allergies, what do you use for them? What do you do? Any supplements or tips on things over the counter? I've tried several for allergies, and they just don't work. Several supplements from Amazon based on just reviews I've read, and nothing works. And then the other thing, what do you guys do to beat the heat? Do you have any tips or suggestions? You know, I drink a lot of iced tea in the summer when it's super hot. So I made a fresh pitcher, and I've got some kind of like a passion fruit, sugar-free flavoring that I put, like a syrup that I put in. So I'm gonna pour a glass here in just a little bit and cool off with that. So anyway, I hope you guys have a cool summer and don't have to deal with a lot of heat, but I'm sure it's going on, you know, over a lot of the US. So anyway, just leave a comment below, and then I hope that you guys get something or entertainment or value out of my videos, and please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon.